everyone, Camilla here from Decodable Readers Australia. Today we're going to have a look at the crucial skill of oral language. Now, oral language is the foundation of all learning, the most crucial, and it is the ability to be able to understand and speak our oral language, and our language being English. Now, when students have the skills of oral language, they are able to understand information, process that information, and express. So we call this receptive and expressive language. Now, receptive language, let's have a look at this concept. Receptive language refers to how a child understands language. It's the input of language and the ability to understand and comprehend spoken language that you hear, and eventually language that you read. Now, expressive language, let's have a look at expressive. This is the output. Expressive language is the use of words, sentences, and eventually writing to convey meaning to others, express wants and needs, thoughts and ideas, argue a point of view, and to develop the use of language to engage in successful interactions. Now, it's important that students can put those words together and have the right grammar and sentence structure, that syntax, to be able to express accurately. Now, as educators, it is our job to provide many opportunities for students to be immersed in, engaged in, and be able to be guided in conversation where they can develop that receptive and expressive language. So how do we do this as educators? Now, if you're a parent at home, all those why questions, those discussions, those talking points are so crucial. Immersion is definitely the way to go with oral language and that development. Any conversations that you can have with your students, engaging in beautiful storybooks and talking about the characters and the events that are happening. All of these things can really foster the development of oral language. Now, if you find that a child's oral language is poor or they're speaking in broken sentences, it's really important to guide that language, and you can do this in multiple ways. So let me give you an example of this. If a child says, "I runned home," so they've got that tense mixed up, I would say, "Oh, you ran home. Can you say it like this? I ran home." So you're gaining the information that the child wants to express, but you're modeling the exemplar practice. You're modeling the correct structure of that sentence and the correct tense in order for accuracy of that expressive language. So that's how I see paraphrasing working, by gaining the information that the child's trying to express and then modeling that exemplar practice. So paraphrasing can be a great tool when developing this receptive and expressive language. The next strategy is called parroting. Now, I like to use parroting as a strategy for students that are either early in their oral language development, either have very poor oral language, or even students with English as their second language, so English language learners. Now, parroting is when the instructor goes first and the expectation is that the student will repeat exactly what the instructor says. Now, you can start very basic at word level and then move to a very simple sentences with 2 or 3 words and then build in complexity. Now, this offers the students a way of seeing and hearing a modelled sentence and sets up that expectation for their expressive language. And if you think back, if you've had children or you've seen little babies and toddlers, we do this all the time. Even from when they're really little, I know as a mother, I would say, "Mummy, mummy," and really expect that the child would say that back. Or I'll point to objects and I will say what they are and try and have the student, or the child in this case, repeat back, like car or book. And that is that parroting, that expectation that the student or the child will repeat back. This is great for English language learners. And this brings me to our product. In our new Sounds of Reading toolkits, we have a section that develops oral language, and we use these beautiful Chatterbox cards. This is a picture prompt to provide an opportunity for language development. What I love most about these pictures, they're age appropriate for our very first couple of years of school. They are aligned to the Australian curriculum, so topics that are covered in these beautiful pictures align to other key learning areas like science and health, geography, history, and there's just so much richness, not only in language development, but building content knowledge and vocabulary. Also, on the back of each card are a list of questions developing in complexity, starting off from very basic of identifying things within the picture to then asking lots of questions around opinions and what they believe and what they want to communicate in regards to the picture. So it really helps and guides the educator. So this is a great tool for parents and teachers, even tutors and speech pathologists, to be able to have the questions already written in that complexity level, as well as beautiful images to really foster the conversations. Every toolkit comes with a step-by-step teaching guide so that educators can really understand how a lesson is run, by how to introduce the topic and have your students engage in that lesson. Now, over the coming weeks, we are going to add a video through this whole series outlining each component of our learning progressions. That way, educators know all the things that are included in a systematic synthetic phonics approach and give lots of hints and tips to really foster that development of teacher knowledge and implementation in the classroom. And as we do that, we'll showcase many of our products within our Sounds of Reading toolkits. So stay with me and join me on that journey of this new series around our toolkits.